Business this evening. Members of senior and junior staff workers of the Metro Mass Transit Limited have declared a sit-down strike over unpaid welfare contributions, loan deductions and the non-payment of full salaries. The striking workers are also calling for the removal of the managing director and his 3 deputies, since they have failed to implement a salary structure for workers of the MMT across the country. Our Northern Regional correspondent Noah Nash filed this report.
As early as 6 a.m., passengers who used the services of the Metro Mass Transit at Aboabu were turned away by security personnel at the terminal due to the declaration of the strike by union members. On a visit to the administrative yard of the MMT, striking workers were seen seated under a tree while buses were parked. Some staff who spoke off camera to GHOne News lamented the condition of the buses since there are no spare parts to fix them or change the tyres that are worn out. But some conductors say they are yet to be paid their 3 months' salary. Speaking to our Northern Regional correspondent Noah Nash in Tamale, the Assistant Divisional Secretary and Chairman of the MMT, Abubakar Mohammed, outlined the rationale behind their strike.
Payment of sedan loan deductions have mostly halted, even though workers used their provident fund as collateral for loans. This has brought untold hardship upon the entire workforce, particularly at a time that most banks are refusing loans to MMT staff. After 20 years in operations, MMTL has virtually no salary structure. Management has used discretion in sharing goodies that come out of our sweat.
He disclosed that, though the buses are due for servicing, there is no money to do that.
The monies that we go to bring, where is the money that they cannot even service the bus? The new bus. Fine, if it is about the old buses, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. The new bus goes to road, brings money, and you don't have oil to service it. Oh, boy!
On the members of senior and junior staff workers of the Metro Mass Transit Limited who declared a sit-down strike over unpaid welfare contributions. Joining us on the phone lines is George Krobia. He's the Communications Director of Metro Mass Transit Limited. Good evening to you.
Good evening, brother.
Now, you heard the story that was played, the concerns of workers declaring the fact that unpaid welfare contributions, loan deductions and non-payment of full salaries are the concerns they put forward. What are your reactions to these?
Okay, thank you so much, my brother, for the opportunity. Yes, I was actually out of Accra for an official assignment in command with them. I just heard this morning that some workers of our company have declared a sit-down strike. Let's just look at the issues. In fact, this evening I have cited a document coming from the divisional union chairman of the junior staff, a disclaimer trying to say that this office is not part of the declaration of the sit-down strike, and that in itself even make the action unlawful, because we have our internal procedure for doing things. Nobody can just wake up and say, because I have issues, I can declare sit-down strike, or I can prevent workers from working. But on the other side, let's look at what the issues are. My brothers or my colleagues are saying that they are doing a sit-down strike because of non-payment of certain obligations. They cited, they mentioned provident fund, they mentioned some loan deductions and what have you. The fact of the matter is that, my brother, Metro Mass currently is faced with enormous challenges. And the challenge we are facing now has to do with inadequacy of buses. We have a wage bill of 3.9 million. That is the gross wage bill of 3.9 million. And looking at our current fees level, we are unable to mobilize that amount of money, so we cannot pay all the statutory payments together with the salaries of workers. So at every given opportunity, we try to pay the net salary of workers so that we can keep the business running. This is something all the workers are aware of. It is not the creation of any managing director. In fact, the sector standard is that for each bus, at maximum, these people have to be dependent on the bus. But in our current situation, we are having a situation of 16:1. for each bus, 16 people are depending on the buses. 187 buses feeding 2,016 workers. Ideally, management were supposed to even lay off workers. But because our company is a initiated by government, we decided that regardless of the challenges we find ourselves, we will still sustain the staff level so that we put in measures that would enable us to bring in more buses. So we keep the business running as it's supposed to run. I am surprised that workers, after a series of engagements, are deciding to
You're surprised that the workers are still expressing they're taking forward this sit-down strike. You're surprised at this move. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm very surprised. And it's not just me. It came as a surprise to management. And of course, we engaged the junior staff divisional unions. And the divisional unions say that their leadership is saying that they are not aware, they are not part of those that cause the industrial action, the industrial strike action. And if leadership is saying they are not involved, then the question is which people are involved? You understand? Which people are involved?
Certainly. Now, George, you say you are the communications director for Metro Mass Transit Limited, and you are surprised by this move being taken by the workers. Has management tried meeting them so far after this sit-down strike was declared?
Yes. I know the managing director has been engaging their leadership, but I was out of Accra. I'm on my way coming. I just got to Koko. I know there are lots of engagements going on. But you see, what I want to put across is that we have workers talking about non-payment of 2 months salary arrears. And when we started working on August salaries, and hopefully by Friday it was protected that wasn't biblical. We will finish with August salary. Then every worker will be left with just a month's salary arrears. Is it enough grounds for us to call for removal of managing director just because of a month's salary arrears? Let's be honest with ourselves. And it's not as if the money is there and the managing director is using the money for something else. We are currently faced with a challenge of inadequacy of buses. You understand? And this is a company that is 100% IGF. For the past month, fuel prices have consistently been increased. And as a company, we've not been allowed to even increase our fares. You understand? This is a company that is operating strictly under public procurement laws. Unlike an individual company where one person takes all the decisions. Here, when you want to buy, you buy in large quantity. And you need the approval of procurement authority before you are able to buy certain parts. So they shouldn't make it appear as if it is a creation of management. You see, for the past 5 years, we've changed close to 5 managing directors. And the question you must ask ourselves, have you gotten the results that we want? If we are not getting the results, then it means that it is not just an issue of changing managing directors. It's an issue of getting to understand what the problems are. And we know our problem. Our problem is that a company that used to run 1,000 buses is currently operating 187 buses. And brother, let me say this on record. Had it not been the intervention of this current managing director, trust me, this company would have been closed down by now.
The company would have collapsed if it wasn't by the efforts taken by the managing director.
I am telling you, and I can explain my point. Just consider the current buses we are running. About 80% of these buses are buses that he brought in. So what it means is that if not for his intervention, the company would have been grounded. You understand? 2018, we did the same thing to the then managing director and he was fired. And the question is, we are still at square one. We are still faced with the same challenge. As a company, it's about time we need to put aside some of these actions and look for a more
sustainable solution. Now, George, from everything you've explained, it's clear that the company is challenged currently, right?
Yeah, the company
what you say that this managing director has made a great contribution to helping it stand on its feet for the time being.
Let me also mention another fantastic.
Now, what efforts are being made to revive the company, to increase the fleets?
Yeah, we noticed that as a company we can only do well when we have enough buses. So the first thing he did, the former managing director started an initiative of engaging government for government to support us with some buses. And when he was asked to step aside, this new managing director came in and also followed and made sure that those buses were given. Between the year 2018 and 2019, we've got 99 intercity direct coaches from the central government. And it was by the intervention of this managing director. The same managing director is making arrangements for us to receive 500 new buses from the Dutch government. You know, Metro Mass, we started with, it was a partnership between the Dutch government and the Ghana government under President Kufuor. When there was a change in government, the managing director, who was a Dutch, was sacked. And because of that, the relationship that we used to have with the Dutch government destroyed. It became very bad. So this managing director came, and as part of the effort in trying to make sure we get a lot of buses, he has managed to revive that relationship. And the Dutch government, in the next 5 years, all things being equal, will be giving the company 500 new buses. And for every year, 100 of these buses will be coming. Just last March, we commissioned 45 of such buses, with the expectation that in the coming months, we are looking forward to receive the 55, making 100. And then next year, we'll receive another set of 100. These are some of the interventions the managing director is putting in place. Ideally, we are supposed to have laid off workers, just like other transport operators or other airlines did. Under COVID, you know, two main sectors that were adversely affected was the transport sector and the hospitality sector. But because our company is not driven by profit, because the intention of the company is to also create employment for Ghanaian youth, the managing director said, I'm not going to lay off any staff. I'll make sure that I manage the few buses we have to be able to sustain the business until such a time that we'll get new buses.
Very well. Now, George, in rounding up, we'd have to end here for purposes of time. But I believe that you are saying that you feel that this move, this sit-down strike that has been declared by the members, is uncalled for. I believe, yes. It's highly uncalled for,
and because it is not even having the backing of the mother union, we are surprised. And those involved they are actually taking a part that is not helping this company.
Very
I want to encourage my colleague workers not to support this action. This is not what we want as a company at this material moment.
At this time. George, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. George Kobia, the Communications Director for Metro Mass Transit Limited.